What's going on, folks? This is Coach Marcus Pro Fan Talk, and been seeing a lot of chatter and a lot of content on Renee Montgomery, and this is her on my Twitter feed. Wasn't really familiar with her, but she is the co-owner, the Atlanta Dream co-owner, two-time WNBA champ, UConn alum. The rest is still unwritten. Okay, not mad at that. And she is addressing the Caitlin Clark fans, the trolls, the people that go above and beyond. Now, we broached this subject before when I spoke on the issue of Kathy Englebert's comments when she was asked on the CNBC show about fans and people on the internet taking things too far and letting it get dark. And my commentary at that particular time was, there's nothing that Kathy Engelbert can do. She can come out, condemn, speak on it. She kind of spoke around the issue, and that ruffled some feathers. Breanna Stewart came out with something, and then the WNBA, the WNBPA came out with a harder statement, but it's just statements. And my perspective then and now is you cannot tell fans what they can and can't do when they leave an arena. Y'all talking about the internet. She seems to be a fairly young woman. Not familiar with how old she is or anything like that, but I'm just going to assume that she is in her 30s, maybe 40s. I don't know. But my point is, she's old enough and young enough to understand how social media works. I keep bringing this saying back. You know how the sausage is made. If you don't want to eat it, don't eat it. But you kind of speaking on from both sides of the fence. When you're talking about social media and fans, you're talking about two different things when you throw in trolls in there, because the average fan is not acting like that. Let's hear her breakdown.
Presentation of what the WNBA would want in their league. This is our league. This was built, like, I feel like as a women's basketball historian myself, I've been watching since I was 5. I was here before the league started, as a lot of the fans on social media feel the same.
Okay, so now you're talking about fans from social media, and you're angry at the fans from social media. You got to distinguish the two. There are fans and there are trolls. The social media landscape has created trolls. What trolls are people, I don't even call them fans because they go above and beyond, right? Fans will support, fans will criticize, but it's all coming from the perspective of, I'm talking about ball, football, basketball, baseball, hockey, whatever. You talking about what's happening on the court, on the field, on the ice, on the pitch, and you keep it there. When you get to the trolls is when they want to take things that happen on the outside. I don't like them dealing with that particular person. I don't like them dating that celebrity because that celebrity likes that political figure, and things that it crosses over. Then you get all of the isms and the ists, and it just goes way left. We saw that a couple times this year, and it's happened. It happened during the tournament. So this is not anything new. But again, you can't control that. Are you throwing gas on the fire by speaking on it like this, like you giving them a stern talking to? I don't know. Let's keep it moving.
That ain't a representation of us. Y'all not like us. They not like us, okay?
Really? We got to go K-Dot. We know that. That's Captain Obvious. Deal with real fans. Don't deal with the negative aspect of it because you can't. So just deal with the positive. Deal with the fans that you like. Try to increase that number, because all of this is going to do is just inflame the people that are looking for something to bitch and complain about anyways.
So please don't confuse me saying motivated by hate by meaning hating on a team the way a normal
confuse it at all.
Would. For instance, let me just give you some examples. A die-hard Falcons fan can hate the Saints, but they would be going a little bit too far if they created nude AI pictures of Saints players and then sent them to the Saints players' families.
Pause. Okay, once again, you know how the sausage is made. You know what kind of landscape we are in. You know what the type of technology that we are dealing with. You cannot stop it. It is here. What people usually tend to do is to just ignore it because there's nothing you can do to stop it. You think people in the NBA hadn't had that happen to them? You think LeBron James hasn't gotten death threats and improper emails and people sending him stuff to make it look like he's messing around and all of that kind of stuff? And once again, she used to play in a W, so she is a former professional athlete. I'm a professional athlete, and you already know what some people will do to get a taste of that limelight. If you've never been there, you already know what people will do to get there. She should know that. You take them same people, you take that same mindset, now you put them behind a keyboard with impunity. Nobody can find out who you are. You got burner accounts. You got 3 and 4 and 5 different accounts. So you can talk shit as much as you want and nobody know where it's coming from. You got VPNs going so nobody can track where you're doing it from. You got different phones. People go to the nth degree. So when you say fans, and you done said it a couple times now, you're not talking about fans. You're talking about the other aspect of it that you have absolutely no control over. None.
That's what Caitlin stands have done to Angel Reese. A diehard Tennessee Vols fan could have hated our UConn Huskies, but they would have been going way too far if they sent death threats to the UConn players.
Okay, here's another pause, because when you talk about UConn, when you talk about, and I'm just throwing the other teams out there since she's going with the NCAA and the rivalries that are still in college, but you look at UConn, you look at Kentucky, you look at Notre Dame, you look at Iowa, you look at some of those schools, South Carolina, all of those big schools, Michigan, and there was a time, and we can even go back before social media became the default way to voice your opinion. Remember the student sections that would always be behind the basket of the opposing team or the bench of the opposing team, and then you got people that will try to find the personal information from the players, find out who their girlfriends are, and make big heads of their girlfriends, and they did some inappropriate stuff there. Some guys breaking up with their girlfriend and everybody's got a picture of the girlfriend and stuff like that. It was already there. I'm sure you've seen it. I'm sure you've been a part of it, especially at UConn when you guys are a perennial powerhouse. So that's not anything new. And again, you know how people do like that. You've been a part of it. You've been on the plus side and the minus side, especially if you played at UConn.
And that's what they've done. That's what Caitlin stands have done. A diehard Celtics fan could hate the Lakers. And you know what? If we being honest, that Celtics fan base has definitely gone too far with some of their racist remarks and their treatments of players. It's not okay.
It has never been okay. Again, you Captain Obvious right now. It has never been okay. The problem is you can't tell somebody what to say. You can't tell somebody else what to do. Literally. She's not the only one. I've seen other people try to do the same thing. When I saw the statement from the WNBA condemning like the remarks and stuff like that, put your statement out and leave it alone, because the more you keep bringing it up, asking or trying to admonish people from what they're doing, the worse it's going to get. Essentially, you're just wagging your finger at the trolls on the internet. How's that going to help? We already know. You don't have to tell me you're against that. You don't have to do that. That's common sense. We talking about Captain Obvious.
It's okay to be a hater in sports. Like, hating in sports is a part of the game. Like, I like when our fans are so engaged and so passionate that they just don't like the other team.
She did it again. You talking about fans. Keep it with the fans. Do not mix fans and trolls. A lot of fan bases don't like each other. That doesn't mean they're trolls. I'm a former NFL player. Let some Cowboys fans come into the link. Let some San Francisco fans, or a couple years ago, Oakland fans and San Francisco fans. It was always like that. Always has been. The fan bases are going to be passionate. The fan bases don't necessarily like each other. There are a lot of people that do, and there's a lot of people that don't. That doesn't mean they're automatically trolls. Once again, the trolls are in a whole separate category, because they take it above and beyond, and they are very easy to recognize when they do the dumb shit. So don't put real fans and that mess in the same boat.
But being racist, sexist, and violent with your words, come on now.
The ists and the isms.
Come on now. That's not acceptable. I mean, honestly, imagine if one of the stands said the things that they were saying. What if they said it to your daughter, your wife, your cousin, your sister? Folks might be ready to fight, okay?
Folks are ready to fight. No different. But it's a big difference between somebody saying something in your face and the trolls that you are referring to that do it through a keyboard, through Twitter, through TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all of the other kind of social media avenues that they have. That's the whole point of it. The trolls won't do it to your face. They won't say it to your face. They want to do it in a way where they have zero repercussions or consequences for their actions.
Okay, so Caitlyn, unfortunately for her, this is a group that is attached to her, not her asking this group to follow. It seems that they found a home in this fan base, thinking that that's where it was. But recently, some things have shown where Caitlyn recently liked a post by Taylor Swift, and it was supporting VP Harris. And on that post, all she did was like it. And this Caitlyn Stans group that I'm talking about, the Stans have now split against Caitlyn.
They weren't Caitlin Clark fans. They weren't fans. You can't figure that out. They were trolls. They were not fans. They have racist ideas, tendencies. You talking about favoritism, colorism, racism, all of that type of stuff. They're not fans. Any troll can attach themselves to any cause. And we, on the other end, because nobody does any homework anymore, nobody vets any information anymore, you just assume. If you go and find some idiot's Facebook page or TikTok account, if they happen to have a 22 jersey, so they're automatically a fan. That doesn't necessarily mean that. You could find somebody that got your jersey on and make it their profile picture. Does that automatically mean that you condone what they're doing? Absolutely not. You have no control over what somebody else does. It is, in my opinion, is very short-sighted to assume that just because they say they are a fan of Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, or whoever, that it is so. It is very short-sighted for you to just assume that it is true without doing any type of homework, any type of history, anything like that. Because let's be honest, when trolls come through, you ain't spending your time with that. You got shit to do. You were owner of a team. You ain't got shit time to worry about that. Worry about the people that's paying to see your product that's been helped by Caitlin Clark. Worry about that. Worry about increasing your media team so you can combat stuff like this, the way that battle is supposed to be fought. Bring the positive. Don't become polarizing and kick out stuff like this. You trying to fight a battle that you can't win. The only thing you can do is increase your positive and increase your viewership and your reach. Leave the trolls alone, because you can't fight that battle.
They're actually going against Caitlyn. I'm gonna read some of the tweets. This is what they're saying to Caitlyn now.
Everybody's just reading the same tweets.
Finally pay some attention to the WNBA because somebody was actually worth watching, and then you caved.
Everybody's saying the same ones. They're reading the same ones about somebody posted them because they get mad at her because she supported Kamala Harris. You already know what that is. Once again, we talking about Captain Obvious, and there is absolutely nothing you can do about that contingency of people. They gonna think what they want to think. They gonna say what they want to say. Mind your business. Do what you do best, and what you do best is not deal with them. Caitlin Clark has been masterful in that aspect, not jumping into politics. In my opinion, that was her one mistake. I wish she had never said anything about that. Same thing with Angel Reese. Angel Reese has been masterful not dipping into that arena, because that's the battle that you can't win. But it's the same thing that happens in the NBA, in the NFL, in Major League Baseball, and all the other mainstream sports. And stop acting like your sport is not mainstream. This is what you get when your sport becomes mainstream. All of the viewership, all of the attention that the WNBA craved for 28 years, now you have it. But when you get it, it comes with a lot of shit that you don't like. You can't do anything about that. That is the cost of becoming mainstream. Prime example was when all of that stuff went down with Kennedy Carter shoving Caitlin Clark getting a cheap shot in the game. And then the next thing you know, for the first time in their career, Kennedy Carter and Angel Reese got paparazzi getting off the bus. You put two and two together? You can't avoid that stuff. And let's be real, the WNBA as a league, in my opinion, has been god-awful in handling the media and everything that's going on with the social media landscape. They've been god-awful. Some of the responses from the players, obviously from the co-owners, the way things have, Kathy Engelbert, the way she's handled the media and the refs, and all of this has really been bad. I've seen things where people say that like maybe the higher ups and some of the players in the WNBA need to take media classes. I believe that. We had to do it. NFL, MLB, NBA, etiquette classes, media classes, what to do and what to say when you out with the media and you got to deal with paparazzi. There is an etiquette to that. You don't have to do it, but it helps because the WNBA now is mainstream. So you got to worry about what the optics look like. I do not believe for 1 second that everybody was out to get Caitlin Clark. I don't believe that for a second. But the optics of it, I can understand it. If I didn't take it upon myself and do some homework and research what they did and how they played 3, 4, and 5, and 6 years ago, I took it upon myself to do that type of homework. The average person is not going to do that. The average person is not going to be invested to try to figure that stuff out like I am. It comes with the territory. The mainstream is going to come with haters. It's going to come with trolls. And it happens in every sport. This is not new in the professional ranks. It might be new to the WNBA. They got to stop acting like it can't happen to us. And that's a problem because whether you like it or not, you got to deal with it.
Another fan said, definitely should have stayed out of politics at Caitlin Clark. I love watching you, but now I refuse after seeing you support Taylor Swift and Kamala.
If that fan, because that is the one post that everybody's copying, reposting, and talking about. If that person is true in what they have said and they're going to stop following, you don't need them. Good riddance. What's the problem? It reminds me of that scene in A Bronx Tale. Look it up on YouTube. There's a scene where the kid is talking to his friend, the mob boss guy. I forget what the names are. They're walking down the street close to the bar in the neighborhood. He sees a kid across the street that owes him money. And the kid sees him from across the street and he runs off and takes off. And he's like, the guy owes me $20. Should I pop him? What should I do? And the guy looks at him like, what are you crazy? Are you an idiot? He says, the guy owes you $20. Yes. Well, consider yourself lucky. You got rid of a problem for $20. He'll never bother. He'll never ask you for money again. And he's going to avoid you every time you come around. You got off easy. You got rid of your problem for $20. This is the same thing. If this person is for real and don't want to deal with Caitlin Clark because she supported Taylor Swift and Kamala Harris, then good riddance. You got rid of a troll because of a tweet. Good riddance. So I'm not worried about those people. Worry about the true fans. Worry about the people that worry about you. Stop worrying about this riffraff.
Why did you like Taylor Swift's post endorsing Kamala? Going on. So Caitlin had these big expectations when she came into the league, and she's clearly exceeding all of them, not on the court, not only on the court, but off of the court, being an ambassador for these brands. But
you can stop it right there. How come don't nobody else want to focus on that? Everybody want to focus on the hate, what she doing, what her fans are doing. She ain't got nothing to do with that. But they always bring that up. And you're focusing on the wrong thing.
But something sinister is happening online with Caitlin's fan base and these stands that needs to be addressed.
You're going to address it and do what? Everybody knows that that's not the way to go. Everybody knows that it exists. How come didn't nobody want to come out and condemn all of that bullshit that was happening to LeBron and his family? Stuff like this has been happening to Angel Reese since she was at LSU. And I'm sure it's been the flip side, and Caitlin Clark done had some improper and disrespectful stuff put out about her too. I've heard some of the comments. It goes on both sides. But that's the element that you really can't deal with, because you can't stop them. You can't give them a good talking to. You can't shake your finger at them. because they're going to just find another keyboard and keep doing what they're doing. So just concentrate on the positive. Concentrate on the woman that's making everybody money. Concentrate on the new influx of good fans that have come into the league and keep it there. Stop worrying about the bullshit. Like somehow they disrespecting you personally all of a sudden. You don't like what's going on in your league. Nobody ever likes that aspect of it. But like I keep saying, you can't do a damn thing about it. Do what you can do. Keep your stuff in the positive and keep making your paper. Support her because she's bringing up everybody in the league. Everybody's paychecks is about to raise. Everybody's paychecks is about to go up a little bit because of Caitlin Clark. Don't get it twisted. All the records she's breaking and all the merch that she's selling. And everybody is getting the spillover. Everybody. More people know about Asia Wilson now than they ever did. More people know about Kelsey Plum, Ryan Howard, Skylar Diggins-Smith, and Arike Agumbawale. All of these people that have been ballers in the league that deserved all of this attention. Now they got it. Because I caught that. We've been here for a long time. I know that. But guess what? I wasn't. Now, because I've been watching Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell, now I know who you are. I didn't before. Spillover. So keep it with the positive. Keep finding a way to celebrate the real fans that you have and leave that other bullshit alone because you can't do nothing with it. Just concentrate on what you got. Keep trying to get your bag. Everybody wants to say something. I think it's a little short-sighted because you can't do nothing about that. Concentrate on your fans because there's some awesome fans in Atlanta and Indiana and LA and Dallas and Connecticut and New York and Minnesota. There's a huge contingency of new fans in the WNBA, and they are not trolls, and they are not about that bullshit, and they're about watching the product of the WNBA as it continues to grow. Prop that up.